It will
I
be
just
interesting.
really hope
It will be interesting to see whether or not Crockie's practiced against this Queen 9 matchup a little bit. Now here we go into game 1. Twilight Grove.
3, 2,
Let's see.
1,
If Crockie
brawl.
can use his guns efficiently, he'll win the matchup. I just don't think he can do that. LDZ.
Just punching
Just lets
Crockie
him
in the
dodge in.
face twice in a row, and that's not something you want to take as Ada, already finding himself in the solid yellow. LDC finds the guitars, Crockie tosses the guns aside, putting out 2 moves and saying, screw this, I want the spear. Goes for a recovery, doesn't quite connect, and Crockie already finds himself into the orange. There's a neutral light, goes for that side signature, but Crockie dodges in place to be able to dodge out of it, and a side air nearly takes Crockie's stock as it is. Waits for him to get to the recovery, goes for a neutral air, another neutral air connects, a recovery. Crockie is just struggling right now. The down sig comes out, Crockie holding onto the guns, hits by a side air, hit into the stage.
Almost knocked him in the mine.
Oof. Crockie tosses his guns into LDZ's face. They actually connect and he goes onto the guns, tosses them into an unarmed combo, brings him into the yellow. LDZ, however, finds that neutral air. Recovery doesn't connect. Crockie's managing to hold onto his stock a little bit longer, and the sides that connect sends him into the orange. There we go. Crockie's finding the right moves necessary to be able to make this a little bit more even. The side air, excellent spacing. Gun toss into his face, another gun weapon toss. LDC's nearing the red.
So Crockie is actually using his guns efficiently right now. And it's kind of surprising. Oh, he does die. It was a little too late. He took a lot of damage before then. But we saw Crockie kind of getting the right idea on how to play this matchup.
But then he picks up the spear once again, and LDZ holding on to guitars is definitely going to win out on that. Goes for that neutral signature, but punishes him with the neutral light, being able to bring him into the red. Crockie's going to have to hit a few more moves before he can kill LDZ, however. Disarms him with the recovery, goes for the ground pound. LDZ goes for a dare and a side air.
No.
Crockie finds himself below the stage. A recovery, yeah, he didn't get gimped, but still, that's a lot of damage to be taking as an Ada. Another side air connects, and he's already in the red, essentially. Excellent ground pound from
doesn't
Crockie.
even kill.
But Twilight Grove is there to save the day. Crockie picks up the guns, goes for immediate side stick, and LDZ punishes him with a side air. Crockie gets hit by a neutral air. Another side air doesn't quite connect. Crockie goes for that neutral sig and gets punished by a recovery.
Wow.
LDZ has a 2-stock lead.
Full stock lead for LDZ. Crockie does find the kill, but is it too late? He has to play so good for the next stock and against LDZ's 2 stocks.
Wow, that was actually a crazy unarmed combo, however. Doesn't get the execute, but still does a decent amount of damage to LDZ. Holds onto the guns, picks him up, immediately goes for that neutral light. Ooh, doesn't pivot. The neutral light, that would have connected, and that would have done great damage. But that down air into ground pound.
Wow.
Crockie bringing out maneuvers with the guns, the ground pound. No, LDZ waits, he hits him, but that recovery sends him into the island on the side of Twilight Grove. LDZ's taking a decent amount of damage, goes for side airs, neutral airs, goes for another ground pound, but it gets punished by LDZ's side air, doesn't get the kill move on the recovery.
He's dead.
Crockie gets another recovery.
got
He's
his-
back on stage, but the side air
Okay.
punishes
Wow,
his
though.
ground
Player
pound.
2 wins.
That was interesting to watch. Crockie got 2 stock, but when he had the guns, he was actually doing exactly what he needed to. He was doing the things correctly, but he was getting punished so hard when he had spear and unarmed. Like, you saw, like, every time LDZ really went off, it was when Crockie had a spear, and he just couldn't get LDZ off him because the spear is really. It's not like a spear is bad versus guitars. It's just the way Crockie plays spear is bad against the way LDZ plays guitars, and it's rough to watch, especially given the character matchup. Looks like Crockie's actually going to swap over to Orion.
Yeah, a little bit higher defense, more throwing capabilities. Like we said before, I'm feeling like as Crockie has to fight more and more Queen Knights, more and more gun players, I feel like he just favors having a secondary weapon that has a larger hitbox to throw and cover the aerial space above him. They go back to Twilight
Orion
Grove.
definitely has a better matchup for sure, because even though you don't have the guns, your spear is actually pretty good against Queen Knights, because you have the extra throwing hitbox to supplement it.
Ooh, LDC hits him with a side air. 2 side airs in a row. Punch goes for that side air unarmed, and Crockie picks up the spear. Goes for a side light. Nothing's quite connecting, but there's the down air. Hits LDC in the face. LDC picks up the guitars. Both players playing really slowly for a second, dodging in place, expecting the other to approach. Neither do, and LDC takes the lead once again with a few side airs as Crockie disarms himself. A bomb, however, brings LDC into the yellow. Queen Eye's defense being quite high, and a neutral light into recovery sends Crockie into the red.
Yeah, Crockie not really finding the unarmed that he's looking for. Instead grabs the lantern. finds a little bit of damage with some throw combos, but the down sig doesn't kill.
Barely doesn't kill Crockie into the corner of the map. That must have been max range, but there's the ground pound. I sent him into the island to the bottom, and LDZ takes the stock lead once again in the orange, reminiscent of the game that we just saw. The bomb being, landing on the island. That was a cool interaction. Crockie picks it up, tosses it aside once again, living for quite a while. But LDZ gets that side stick follow-up and does a crazy amount of damage to Crockie. Already in the orange. Stocks are essentially evened up, even though LDZ is a stock ahead. And Crockie goes for that D-Light side air. Ooh, excellent patience there. Oh, that's not good. A charged Queen Eye side stick into your face is something you don't want to have happen to you. Crockie hits him with that side air, chases him off the stage. LDZ trying his best to recover. He doesn't make it back to the stage, and Crockie takes the stock off of LDZ's queen.
Well, Crockie is in the orange now, but if he plays pretty good this stock, he has a chance at coming back, especially if he doesn't let LDZ get guitars. Ooh.
Crockie goes for that down light, doesn't get the follow-up, but Crockie's not taking too much damage on the stock just yet. Goes for another down light, doesn't quite work out. Staying in the air, waits out that neutral sig, does a weapon toss and unarmed combo, gets some decent damage on LDZ. There's the recovery, down light, side air. Nicely done. Crockie gets him into the orange. The slide charge down sig forces LDZ so low, but the recovery, wow! LDZ trade stocks.
Wow.
LDZ decides to trade stocks. An interesting interaction, I guess. That's in favor of both players, honestly. That was such a cool slide charge from Crockie there.
Like, how do you get around that as LDZ? I think he played that pretty much the only way he could. Otherwise, he was just going to die, right?
Yeah, I think so, because Crockie was going to have enough jumps to get back to stage. He was just falling. So, LDZ doing the best that he could to make the best of a terrible situation. And they're even it up. Oh, no. Crockie.
Oh, no.
Wait.
Did he kill him?
Did he just... There's the ground pound. Oh, LDZ make it back. Oh, hits him with the cider. He almost killed himself, but LDZ almost showing off his name. Holds on to the guitars, hits him with the recovery. Crockie finds himself a little bit more damage, just struggling to find the spear. There it is, dodges back on the stage, finds the neutral, like the neutral signature, gets punished by his side air. LDZ trying to hold on to these guitars right now. Definitely just want to get disarmed. Crockie just holding on to the spear. Waiting for LDZ to approach, doesn't go for a D-Light. Ooh, does actually throw out a D-Light and gets punished by a neutral there. Crockie playing it very slowly now. LDZ excellent air dodge, reading that down air. Doesn't get hit by the side stick, however, but these side airs are destroying Crockie. Another side air hits, he's below the stage. The weapon toss goes the wrong way. Crockie's disarmed, but he hits him with the side air. Whoa, ground pound. He's gonna get another ground pound. He does!
Oh! What a beautiful ground pound by Crockie. Catches LDZ's off guard. Takes the win. And suddenly the series is 1-1.
It's 1-1. Crockie doing incredibly clutch ground pounds on the side of Twilight Grove, using that island to his advantage, despite LDZ not being very damaged. And game 3 is on our way. What an exciting losers quarters match.
That was insane by Crockie. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful edge guard. Wow. So we're going to game 3.
Game 3, yes indeed.
I'm gonna go to Twilight
to go to Twilight once more. Crockie pulling out some really clutch maneuvers there with that spear, twirling it all around Orion's body, whether it was a down sig, a ground pounder, or recovery. He managed to pull that match out. Let's see whether or not he can do it again.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
I mean, that match was so close. Anyone can take this game. It's whoever played better, right?
Crockie's first weapon is the lance. I don't think we saw the lance a single time last match. The bomb trades between both players, favoring LDZ. But Crockie lands with a down air, and LDZ holds on the guitars, dodges away from the weapon toss. But Crockie gets that spike ball into unarmed combat. Does 2 hits in a row, and a side air. Crockie's doing quite a bit of damage to LDZ.
Yeah, especially considering he hasn't even gotten the spear yet. Ooh. Beautiful reads by LDZ to get the damage right back on track.
Crockie holding onto the spear, goes to that side signature. LDZ does the guitar, staying high. Crockie actually hits him with that recovery as he dodges a little too early, and a second recovery hit sends him into the orange. He goes to the side of the stage. Crockie trying to play LDZ's game. There's the weapon toss, a second weapon toss.
Oh, no.
LDZ's running out of jumps, the ground pound. LDZ makes it back to the stage with the side air, but the mine goes a little too far, but I definitely saw the read there when he tossed that mine aside. LDZ trying to chase dodge him towards the mine. Crockie charges it down, so he gets punished by a side air. Both players in the red. Crockie gets hit by the sideline.
So one thing I have noticed that Crockie's not doing, for some reason, is he's not using a lot of weapon throw combos. which is the
Yeah.
big advantage that he would have. Like, he hasn't really used them at all. He's basically just been using them in edge guard scenarios, and that's about it.
Absolutely. When he's got the weapon himself, he wants to hold on to it. And LDZ hits the recovery, kills him. And my theory behind that is that I feel like since Crockie's so reliant on the spear and he wants to hold on to it for so long, he doesn't want to risk using it as a weapon throw combo and dropping it.
It's just, like, whenever he plays Ada, he's, like, so weapon throw reliant. He uses weapon throws all the time, even with the spear.
Ooh,
And
those
it's, like, it's a part of his gameplay, a beautiful ground pound.
right there, two
Taking
weapon
the
throws in a
stock.
row leading into that ground pound. But like you said, only when LDZ was off stage.
Like, right there, he goes for the weapon throw and actually, for some reason, loses to LDZ's neutral light. That was strange.
Lands a neutral light of his own, though, goes to the recovery as LDZ picks up the weapon. Another recovery hits LDZ in the chin, but the spear tosses into Crockie's face, holds onto the lance. I'm sure he's just going to be trying to toss this into LDZ's face. Both players just using those massive hitboxes from their weapons to do as much damage to each other as possible, finding each other in the yellow. Crockie, ooh, LDZ denying the spear from Crockie as well as getting himself the guitars, but that's the ground pound,
Oh,
that
no.
weapon toss. That's LDZ's stock. No, Crockie brings
No,
it
he
back
saved
with the
him.
recovery. Crockie just trying to get back himself, not realizing that he allowed LDZ to get back, and LDZ, glad to have his stock, hits him with a side air, and both players find themselves in the orange.
I'm not entirely sure if LDZ was dead or not. It was, like, so ridiculously close, but it's one of those things where you want to watch it play out. Oh.
Side sig comes out from Crockie. LDZ holding on to the spear. Crockie playing very patiently. Both players holding on to their spear. LDZ wins out for that neutral light. Gets the unarmed combo. Goes for the recovery, but the weapon toss into recovery interrupts LDZ's ground pound, and Crockie punishes his neutral sig with a down air. Both players find themselves in the red. Both players can lose their stock at any point in time.
Wow.
Dodges out of that recovery. Crockie calls in the weapon. LDZ tries to punish. Crockie goes for a very dangerous side sig, but LDZ's side sig doesn't connect. The recovery kills Crockie off the top. Crockie needs to end the stock quickly, otherwise LDZ's going to run with it.
It won't take much. Pretty much any move will kill LDZ. At this point, that mine barely missing. Oh, that'll do
And
it.
the punt into the mine makes it even 1-1. Crockie making this match just as close as the one before. Calls in the
Anyone
spear.
can win this.
LDZ trying to go with the guitars. Crockie's holding on to the spear right now. Tries to hit him with the spear. Tosses it upwards, but it doesn't land on LDZ's head. LDZ trying to get in with some kind of neutral air, but it doesn't work out. The D-Light side air actually lands. Crockie's going to want to land a few more of those to be able to bring LDZ into the orange. Weapon toss, unarmed. Picks up the spear. No, instead goes for that sliding neutral signature. Doesn't connect. Would have been devastating, however. Lance in his hand. Goes for that neutral air. LDZ's ready to apply for the neutral air. And the side sig. Wow.
Oh my goodness.